Welcome to the Wahoo Warrior. I'm Sean. I'm here going to be presenting a 1,000 point battle report. My opponent Richard, he was a YouTube viewer and got on our Eastern Nebraska Facebook Bolt Action Facebook page, and we arranged a match. And so I met him down at the Game Shop down in Omaha, their Western store on like 144th and Maple. It's the first time I've been to that store. It's a really nice store. I've been to the old Game Shop down in Bellevue quite a few times when I lived in Omaha. Really like the Game Shop, the way they have their store set up, nice and clean, and lots of gaming table space and everything. So this was the first time I've met the opponent, and first time he's actually played a game of Bolt Action ever. So it's always nice when somebody gets into the sport hobby, and it's their new experience. So we wanted to make sure we had a friendly game, and we did. We had a really good time. So I'm going to go ahead and put that battle report together. Also, just for your information, I did this entire battle report already one time, and I uploaded or downloaded Windows 10 yesterday, and then something happened when I restarted. I think the target for the video was in a temp file or something as opposed to the normal place, but the entire battle report is gone. So this is a redo of what I already did, and if anybody's ever done that, I apologize in advance for anything where I feel like I'm skipping around, because it's a redo. So hope it still comes out alright. Enjoy.
Hey, Sean here with Wahoo Warrior. Making a battle report today here at the Game Shop in Omaha, Game Shop 2 on 144th and Maple. And I'm playing against Richard. Richard's going to be playing as Americans. It's his first game playing Bolt Action. He's played a lot of different miniature games through his career, but Bolt Action is something new to him. So looking forward to our first game. We rolled up the secret plans. We both brought a 1,000 point list. I have a German list. Really quickly going over it, I've got a medium anti-tank gun, which probably isn't going to do much this game. Panzer IV-A, so it's got the 8 armor, light howitzer, 2 machine guns, a half-track, medium machine gun team, heavy mortar inexperienced, a second lieutenant, regular. I have a regular infantry squad with a light machine gun and 2 Panzer Foss. The NCO has a submachine gun, but no, he doesn't. Just and 2 assault rifles in there. Same kind of squad, 1 light machine gun, 2 assault rifles. And this is a SS squad. They have like 5 submachine guns, 2 assault rifles, 2 Panzer Foss, and they have the Fanatics. And then I have a medic here. And Richard, go over your list for me real quick.
Veteran unit, 9, 2 bars, 4 of those.
They have the Tough Fighters rule.
All Tough Fighters, all the tank grenades.
Okay, they're kitted out. All tank grenades, 2 bars, but Tough Fighters, nice. And then you've got a
light mortar, the paratrooper versions, you only get 2.
Okay.
2 people. Bazooka.
That's the Bazooka team there.
Sniper's already on the
Sniper's on the board. I have a sniper as well. And you have a Ford Air Observer.
Ford Air Observer in my HQ.
Which is a really neat looking model there. 2 pistols. And he's a first lieutenant? Okay. Veteran. Alright, so that's going to be this. So we're going to start pulling some dice.
Okay, so this is the terrain. You know, we're at the game store. We should use a lot of their generic terrain. I brought some stuff with me. I've never been at the store before. I just brought a couple wall pieces, and we didn't really rule on the rough ground other than what it is. Those gray boxes are like destroyed buildings. We probably should have made them rough, but we just were playing the actual structure. And there's some trees in the way there. You can see we placed our snipers. I've got a sniper behind that hedge and a Ford Observer on the right hand side. He's got a sniper in that central rubble, and then he's got his Ford Air Observer far back on the left there. So I did get my sniper within a shot of him. I'm really dreading the airplanes. And I'm just going to go over the Army list again real quick, in case it's kind of hard to hear. We're trying to be considerate of the other people in the place there. I got the Panzer IV-A, light howitzer and whole mount machine gun. I got the medium anti-tank gun, half-track, machine gun crew, heavy mortar inexperienced, 2 squads of infantry, light machine gun and 2 assault rifles in each, a medic, and then a SS squad that has 2 assault rifles and then like 5 submachine guns. I got some Panzerfaust spread through there too. His army here. Here's a close-up of his captain. He made him out of the little piece of the rubble from the starter set. He's kind of modeled really nice. 2 pistols and then a cigar in his mouth. He's got the 4 squads of veteran, 2 bars in each. And then he's got a light mortar. He's got a forward air observer. He's got a bazooka team. He's got the first lieutenant, and with an attendant and a sniper. So all infantry. So he's, like I said, he's new to bolt action. That's what's really nice about the game. You can, for a pretty low entry price, get an entire army. So there's that. And he's got them all painted up, which is actually nice for a new player. So he gets first dice and brings the squad in here behind the hedgerow. And then I bring my medium machine gun team in there and planning to just cover between that ground between the trees and that building. I bring my heavy mortar in, but then remember that everything's in reserve and have to roll for it, and it does not come in. Cursed myself, like always. So there's my heavy mortar sitting in my box again. And then, so next I bring in an infantry unit on the right hand side. These are the regulars. I've got my SS and my medic in the half track. And then he fails an order check on needing a 10, and so he has a squad that has to stay off the board for the first round. I bring my anti-tank gun in. Really not a lot for me to do with this, but I just bring it in. He brings a veteran squad in behind the woods there, kind of in the center of the map. Now, my deployment, I fail an order check, so I have a regular squad. I'm really paranoid about the aircraft, so it really does dictate a lot of my deployment. He fails another check on a 10, so that's kind of a nice start for me. I get all crazy here and I go ahead and bring the half track in. My half track's all the way up there. It's got the SS and a medic in there. You can't see him with this forward observer thanks to that little building. We look pretty hard at it and not able to see that, so that is nice. However, in hindsight, I probably should have done this with the tank and let him see the tank. And then if you would have called in the order on the tank, then I would have just continued driving it towards his troops. So this actually, if I would have went with a half track around the side and have the SS go after his infantry and then try to take the token with my other guys, it would have worked out a lot better for me, I think, in the long run. But at the moment, I think I'm pretty slick there, is that you can't see me with the air observer. In the next round, I'll be able to move up and disgorge my troops, but it's pretty bold. So the next there, I just put a down order on my SS that are in the half track. They can't get out or anything since it ran. And the same with my medic. Pull the next dice, and he just goes down. Americans pull the next dice, and they bring a veteran squad in on the far right. They come in on an advance. They do try to shoot down towards my forward air observer, but my spotter. He's too far away. This is his bazooka team comes in. My sniper takes a shot as his forward air observer, and I don't even hit, so that sucks. His sniper shoots back, and he shoots at my sniper. And I didn't mark it, but I believe he put a pin marker on me, but didn't kill him. Then his lieutenant comes up the middle there, behind the stone wall. And his forward air observer decides to go into ambush, which is a nice thing, because when he sees something move, he'll switch to a fire order, and he can call in a fire on it. So I bring my lieutenant in on the far side here on the right. Just don't want airstrikes. You can't see my lieutenant from there. So we didn't take a video in between turns, but so we go ahead and start turn 2, and I pull the first dice and I move my half track up to the left side of that token. He doesn't trigger his air observer, which would have been nice if he would have, because then I could have he could have taken out the half track. I wouldn't care. so I have to line up like this, so you can't really see my guys with the forward observer. And I'm on the token, so I will capture it at the end of the turn. So I'm feeling pretty decent about that. But again, you know, because where he's deployed, I'm thinking I'm only really facing one squad, at least in close. So it looks good on paper. And he hasn't called an airstrike on me. I think in the last picture, my tank is on the far left side, and I should have moved it into the center and let it take the airstrikes if you want to fire at it, but didn't do that. So it's just another picture of the same thing, looks like. Here I do get these guys to activate, and they run in, and which triggers him to fire his airstrike at them. I was too aggressive. Actually, I should have come in probably about 8 or 9 inches and kept that bubble of airstrike away from the center. So that was kind of a dumb move, and he went ahead and triggered it. I moved these guys closer on the right-hand side there. He starts firing at me, and he's firing from the right side of the board. So he put a pin on me. His mortar or his bazooka team advances up there and fires at the half track and misses this turn. My medic promptly gets out of the half track, and he's right there. And then his squad advances through the woods, and we talk about a little bit, because this is his first game, and we kind of talk about where he should have come out. He comes out there. He's able to put a bunch of fire on my SS, and it cost me a wound and another pin. And he did kill my NCO with an exceptional shot. Here's my tank over here. Tank's got a pretty good shot at the squad that just came out of the woods, but I miss with like everything. There's my sniper, has a pin on him there. Oh, you can move that squad out. So my sniper's trying to shoot at his air observer and rolls a 10, so that pin marker made a difference. These guys failed to come in for the second turn in a row, and it's kind of it wouldn't matter if they're experienced or not. I'm rolling so bad. His squad that failed to come in, one of his two comes in there behind that little wall, and he's able to shoot at me. He's got a line of fire with several guys, and it's able to kill another guy and put another pin on. So then he's got that squad on the far right. They actually have a line of fire as well, I believe. Or no, they shoot at the air observer, or the spotter. I keep saying that. His lieutenant just runs into the woods there. My lieutenant kind of runs. Figure I'm going to start needing to get towards the center. Airstrikes be damned. I fired this guy at his bazooka team, and I think I needed a 6, and I missed with a 3. His light mortar comes in. It had failed the first round, and it comes in and throws a pot shot at the SS, but misses. My medium machine gun fires at long range at that squad on the far right, and I don't even score a hit. So with 7 shots, maybe I scored 1 hit, but no wounds. So that's that.
Alright, that is the end of turn 2. My SS squad is getting pummeled in the center. Veterans are starting to close in there, but it's starting to heat up in the middle. This secret mission game is always one that's difficult. You go for that token too soon, and you get shot up. You wait too long, and it ends up escaping you. So, what are you thinking about your first game of bolt action here so far?
I'm liking it pretty good. As far as where I am, we're all stuck in it. We're all right in the middle. So.
Yeah, and you haven't even taken a single pin yet. Everything I shoot at you has been missing. So.
And everything I've been shooting is right at the middle unit. So
yeah. Yeah, that pin made a difference because I didn't activate. So.
If the dice work out, then they actually give me a second shot.
Yeah, and we got to roll for that first thing. See if that airstrike comes in. So let's go ahead and get to the next turn.
Results of the airstrike pinning, just the pinning part, and you notice he put 2 pins on many things. The SS took 2 pins, half track 2 pins, the sniper took 2 pins. Got 1 on my tank gun. So yeah, that's bad. I did go down though, and I was able to hit him with 1 flak shot from my medium machine gun at long range, needing I think a 6. So I did score 1 hit, and I went down. He rolled the second plane on the thing, the fighter bomber, I think it is, or whatever. 2d6 shots at +2. So he rolled a 7, so it becomes a 6. So 6, 3 hits, and he kills 2 guys with the 3 hits and puts an additional pin. I go ahead and take another tank shot at his squad that's threatening the center there, and this time I am actually able to hit, and hit with my howitzer and killed 3 guys. The machine gun sprayed as well, but didn't even score a hit. His forward observer figures he's been dodging enough, so he fires another fire order and he puts on the same unit. His bazooka team needs like a 5 to hit the half track and hits it, and actually gets a fire roll, and I fail my check and they die thanks to all the pins. His sniper fires and kills my medic, breaks Geneva Convention rules and plugs him in the head. He was worried I was going to take the token with him and run, which is probably smart. Light mortar fires at the SS, and he's needing a 5 this round, and he actually scores a hit. So he hits the SS, and he puts another pin on there. Medium machine gun, actually I move it this turn over to the left. I didn't put it in a very good spot. Or maybe, no, I did shoot at these guys and put a pin on them maybe. The medium machine gun is pretty ineffective this whole game. Sniper fails its order check. Or no, it passed, removed a pin, but missed with its shot. These guys run, they just run. They try to get up there in the center. Here's the squad. I do shoot at them with something. Oh, they've got a bunch of pins. Fire this bad boy. Don't really have a lot of targets, so I shoot at the sniper. And of course I miss. You know, I think I needed a 6. And then he advances these guys, passes his order check, and instead of shooting at the SS, he shoots at that new squad that had just kind of arrived on scene. This was before we realized he had 2 pin markers, so we had to redo the shooting, and he does hit and he kills a guy, maybe 2. Yeah, 2 guys, so he still did alright. These guys move over to the right. They just kind of walk over sideways, and they plug them. They got a nice gap between the woods and that burnt out house, and they're able to score another hit. Fortunately, nobody dies. And then somebody else shoots and scores another hit. May have been, I forget who it was. So yeah, that's where, you know, looking at all the pins starting to mount up. I moved my lieutenant a little closer to try to help my run him up there. I tried to help my SS, and here I was going to pull a pretty sneaky, tricky kind of maneuver. I mean, I had a lot of pins in a dead NCO. I did have the +1 from my lieutenant, but if I would have passed this, I would have charged that unit in front of them. He would have struck the same time as me, but it would have cleared all my pins off of me. I am fanatics. I think I have 2 attacks, but everybody left in there has either a submachine gun or an assault rifle. So I would have had 2 attacks each guy. He had 2 attacks each guy. I outnumber him. Worst case, he would win, and I would continue fighting since I'm a fanatic, and either try to grind him down to being nobody left, or I would win and consolidate and move D6 inches. And I could have got back away and then removed all the pin markers off of me. But lo and behold, I rolled a 10. Heck, even a foobar would have worked in this instance. But my mortar looks like it fires a shot, and I'm trying to help out that SS, but miss. He pushes these guys up on the left here to make the tank have to deal with them, which is not a bad strategy because I have to deal with them. And he moves his lieutenant up to make sure he can help those guys with their morale check next turn.
Alright, that's the end of turn 4. You can see in the middle here, I just racked up a bunch of pins on my unit that I was kind of counting on to get to the token. My SS, if I would have passed that, I was planning to assault that unit. I think I'd win. If anything, even if I had a guy or 2 left alive, since I'm fanatics, I would have had all my pins removed off of me. But I didn't pass. I needed a 5. Not a lot of options there, but other than that, he's pushing this infantry up here to the tank has to deal with them. He does have anti-tank grenades, but they're not looking too good for the Germans here. Now I'm starting to think from winning to just keeping from losing. If I can just keep him from getting the token off. But if he gets to assault there first, he'll get to go first, and that would be a disadvantage. But what are you thinking on the American side?
That might be my only option, try to get them into a kill.
Yeah, it'd be a close fight, and you'd go first, which is important in that close combat because I'm not defending an obstacle or anything. No, you're killing me on 5s, and then anybody you kill doesn't get to attack you back, and I'd be killing you on 5s because we're both veterans. And then I'd have, and it removes all the pin.
Probably only kill 2 people. We got 10 attacks. On my 5 kills, you might only kill 2 people. So
could end up with a draw.
More than 2.
All right. Well, lots to think about. Lots to think about these mid. You assault the tank.
I haven't done anything.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try to shoot you first, though, if you don't mind. You're what? Here? You only need to be within 12 because you're not. Yeah, 12 is the assault. Yeah, unless you're trying to run over through rough terrain or something. All right. So next turn.
We got a airstrike deal.
Roll for that real quick. Let's roll for it. 1. Oh, that's bad. This is gonna get ugly. Okay, we'll be right back.
Sorry about the blurry picture, but this is basically the airstrike coming in. He's able to throw a bunch more pins all over the place, and we measured 12 inches from the unit because there's no actual token, and 12 inches from the unit actually touches the edge of my tank, and it puts a pin marker on my tank, which actually becomes very important later. Another pin on the anti-tank gun, so like 2 pins on the SS, that's all they needed, and then pins all over the place, so that's really bad. Then we actually resolved the airstrike, and he rolls the fighter bomber, and whatever the ground attack aircraft, the bad one, the 46. Even though I'm down, he does an additional 3 pins or something, and he actually pins me out of existence before he even roll the damage. He fires his mortar at the SS, who have not been able to move, and he actually hits them. And he does a pin and kills 2 guys. So they are racking up the pins, and then I've only got 1 left, and so that changes things for him as far as he was thinking about charging me, and he just moves his squad on the right over there and fires and hits me and puts another pin, and that wipes me out. So here's my morale check for the tank. I could have annihilated that unit in front of him, but I was planning to drive it over to the right a little bit to start helping. It fails, has to go back 6 inches. The mortar fires, and you know, none of his stuff is standing still, so I'm just kind of spray and pray, and I miss them with a roll of a 1. My sniper fails to activate again, so another failed order check. Anything that I'm trying to do. Here, my tank gun fires at that squad by the thing. I think I needed a 4 and I missed. These guys just activate, and they move over, and they can get a clear line of fire to these guys. I don't want to go down because it's the only unit I have that's really there. I'm hoping maybe I'll pass a lucky close combat if he moves on top of the token. My machine gun does actually, I think, fire this turn, but it doesn't do any damage. These guys come over, and they're spreading the love with the Browning automatic rifles, and takes out 2 more guys from that unit and puts another pin on there. So now things are really, really bad. My lieutenant comes over here, mainly just to give me somebody to threaten the token, and I fire a submachine gun and a rifle, and I am able to hit that unit. So they have 3 pins on them. I'm hoping they'll fail a pin check. He's been just holding them back, waiting to get the token there. Here I fail to activate, so they have to go down. And then he moves on top of the token with basically his last move of the phase of any significance. His lieutenant is just, or his bazooka's back here behind the wall, and then his lieutenant moves up there to be within 6 inches of that unit. It does have 2 pins on it, and his forward air observer has nothing left to do, so he starts running towards the battle.
Starter turn 5, basically turn 4 is the turn of death. Tank, fail this order check. Sniper, fail the order check. Middle is just decimated. So now I'm obviously playing for a draw. Bad news. You gotta try to keep that. What I do have for shooting, hopefully I can pull some dice and keep that unit pinned down and keep it in the center of the board. What are you thinking? Anything besides?
Well, they're mortar shooting on 2, but that's not critical.
Nope, yep.
I don't know if you can get off the table in 2 turns.
Well, you need 2 full turns of running will get you off the board. It should be 24 inches, so you have a chance. So I got to try to put some pins on there. You won't really have. You can pass it off to a unit, but that unit can't move with it the same turn. So if they activate, they could move there. They could take it, not go anywhere, and then there'd be no pins on. They can run off and. Yeah, it'd be close. Or you can just go full speed, whatever. We'll figure it out. Hopefully you'll fail order check and just stay right there. All right.
How you get around? Glad you like to do that.
What's that?
That phone's 26 inches, right? That'll cut my movement. If they got first dice and I move back.
Yeah, you can run
I'll
around.
do 6.
You go around it. You run.
I would literally snake it.
You can go through your own guys as long as you don't stop within an inch. So you could just go like that way, or you could even go that way if you move them first, and especially. But we'll figure it out.
He passes there, and even with the pins, and runs full speed back towards his sideline. I'll probably get off next phase. I do a foobar with my sniper. I do have a couple lines of fire at that unit, but yeah. So here I roll and get a 5, so I could have hit that unit and I miss. Here these guys just kind of make a human wall, trying to screen off those guys from the tank. I get pinned out of existence here with those guys. They go ahead and shoot across there again and then kills me. I don't know what this is. Oh, his unit activated, came over and shot. Killed one guy only, but then I failed my check and die. So he flees the battle. Things are getting really, really bad. They're already bad, now they're getting worse. Now I'm just hoping, and I'm firing my anti-tank gun at stuff. And actually was able to score a hit, and I killed like 2 dudes. I rolled pretty good. So that's nice. So after that happened, he decides to run his lieutenant over and take the token from that unit. The good news for me is he's 2 moves away from the side of the board, and it's turn 5. Bad news is I'm in big trouble still. He fires a smoke around with his mortar, but it misses, so I put it over there so it doesn't hinder my line of sight. So he's got, I think it's sniper shoots, and he shoots at my mortar. So there's that. And then really the only thing I had at this point that I could do, I failed another tank check. I had a shot at that lieutenant on the last turn. So this starts the next turn. I failed and went backwards to the side of the board. It was ridiculous. So he does get the first order dice, and he runs this guy around the side of the woods there. He didn't have enough movement to get off the board. It was a gamble, do this and hope for turn 7, or try to run the other squad and maybe fail an order check. So there's that. Then we go ahead and quick play the turn, and we do roll a turn 7, so he's able to run off the board. So it was his first game of bolt action ever, and he wins his first game. That secret plans one, that's always a crazy one. It's always really fun. I think we had a really good time. I think Richard saw a lot of how the pins work and how the sequential movement, where it's not his turn, then my turn, then your turn, then my turn, how that really changes the game through each phase. It's pretty fun, pretty interesting, constantly changing, you're constantly thinking. So there's the 4 that kept the next turn going and gave him the win. So thanks for watching.